Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Today on the channel I'm going to talk about some of my favorite Rhino Records box sets or compilations. So the first time I ever heard of Rhino Records as a label was when I picked up this album in 1980, The Best of Love. Prior to this, I only knew of Rhino Records as a record store in Westwood, California, which I would frequent periodically. But this was the first time I ever saw Rhino put something out. And it really drew me because I was just starting to kind of revisit old 60s music. You know, I grew up with 60s music as a child, and I was listening to a lot of old 45s, and I've always had the 7 and 7 as singles. I wanted to explore more love, and this really got me into those first 4 albums. It's 16 tracks, and just a nice collection overview of their first 4 albums, and a few tracks that weren't even on those albums. So this is where it all started with me, was this Best of Love compilation in 1980. And from then on, anytime I'd see a Rhino compilation, I would just be like, my mind would just be drawn to it. I've always been a compilation freak. I love compilations. In the 80s, I was doing mixtapes. In the 90s, when CDs came in, I was doing mixtapes on CDs. And then when iPhones and iPods came in, I was doing playlists. So I'm a fanatical compilation guy. So let's dig into a few of these Rhino Records compilations and box sets. A favorite of mine is this one called Left of the Dial, Dispatches from the 80s Underground. This came out in the early 2000s. Now, during the 80s, I pretty much breathed and lived alternative indie music. That's pretty much all I listened to, so I had to get this at one point. I don't listen to that music as much as I used to, but this is an incredible curated 4 CDs packed with just all those, you know, those tracks they would play on K-Rock, tracks that would be played on college radio. You can see the back here. It's just incredible selections of songs, everything from Susie and the Banshees to the Pixies to the Pretenders to Gang of Four, you name it. All those cuts, all those bands on this particular compilation. Inside you've got a little box in here. Got the box with the booklet. Always cool photos. Rhino always puts this stuff together really well. The photos and the essays and such. Inside you got the CDs here, which show like different cities a lot of these bands were from. You get the maps on the CD booklets. So it's really cool. So if you're into 80s alternative indie rock, this is about probably one of the best compilations you can get. Left of the Dial, Dispatches from the 80s Underground. Another great one here. If you're a Genesis fan, you love the Peter Gabriel era. I picked this up a while ago. This is all their albums from 1970 to 75 remixed, and the sound is absolutely stellar. It's just incredible. It blows away the original CDs that came out in the 80s. So you've got in here, you've got Trespass, all the way through Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, I don't think it has ever sounded better, to my ears at least. And tracks like Supper's Ready from Foxtrot have never sounded more clear and powerful. You got a little booklet in there. You've got another CD with some outtakes and different like BBC sessions, I believe. But the ones I really listen to the most are Selling Them by the Pound, Foxtrot, and Nursery Crime, and of course Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. But this is really good stuff. I don't know if it's available anymore, but if it's out there, it's not too expensive. It's worth getting if you're a huge Peter Gabriel Genesis fan. Genesis 70 to 75, all their studio albums from Trespass to Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Another one I picked up a couple years ago. This has been playing in my car constantly. I love this Joni Mitchell Archives Volume 3, The Asylum Years 72 through 75. I may have mentioned this in another video. This captures some really great demos of songs on For the Roses, Court and Spark, The Hissing of Summer Lawns. You got a live at the Carnegie Hall concert, which is so good, from February 23rd, 1972. She opens with This Flight Tonight. Towards the end, Crosby and Nash come out for some harmonies on the Circle Game. But just a really great, like, rehearsals, early demos for Court and Spark. I didn't pick up the first 2 because this is really, I think, more my favorite Joni Mitchell period, this kind of 72 through 75 period. even though I love Blue and I love Ladies of the Canyon, this is my favorite. So if you're a Joni Mitchell fan, I highly suggest picking this up. If you dig that period between For the Roses and Hissing in Summer Lawns. Joni Mitchell Archives, Volume 3, The Asylum Years, 72 through 75. Really cool. I think this came out in 2023. Another really cool one is The Faces, Five Guys Walk Into a Bar. This is another just really well-curated selection of songs from The Faces' career, from everything from Small Step or First Step through Ooh La La, plus a lot of BBC recordings, B-sides, live recordings. Really, really cool. There it is. Here's the inside. Of course, you got that really cool booklet inside that Rhino always does really well. Really, really good stuff. Again, I don't know if this is out of print. Things just come and go really quick these days, right? But highly suggest this. The Faces, Five Guys Walk Into a Bar, 4-CD set. If you're a big fan of AM 70s radio like I was back in the day, you got to have a Nice Decade, the 70s pop culture box. Initially, when I saw this, there was a version that had actual real carpet on the front cover. It was like a shag carpet. I wish I had bought that one, but I think it was a little more expensive. This is back in like the late 90s. But this is just, I mean, 7 discs of everything from, you know, Edison Lighthouse, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Grows, to, you know, Do You Feel Like We Do from Frampton. Everything in there. Harry Chapin. Every major 80s, you know, hit that hit the top 40 in the 1970s. All those songs you'd hear on KHJ. They're all on here. We were listening to them on our little transistor radios back in the day. So just incredible. Here's the song selection, if you can read some of it. A lot of cool tracks, a lot of cool one-hit wonders. So this came out in 98, and this is called Have a Nice Decade, the 70s pop culture box. Cool stuff. Another one, you know I'm a huge Big Star fan. This one came out maybe about 10 years ago. It's called Big Star, Keep an Eye on the Sky. And if you're a Big Star fan, I highly suggest getting this. This has cuts. This has their entire 3-disc discography on here. But the highlights on here are Alex Chilton demos with just him and acoustic guitar. Him playing 12-string, like songs like What's Going On, or You Get What You Deserve from Radio City. Just amazing acoustic versions. You get a live CD here, which are really hard to find with Big Star. Live at Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis, Tennessee, I believe in 73, 74. Really great set. It sounds like there's about 5 people in the audience and no one gives a fuck. But you'll love the performance. Chilton is just on fire in this performance, as well as Jody Stevens, his drumming. And yeah, so if you're a Big Star fan, this is a must. Keep an Eye on the Sky, 4 CDs, the third being that Lafayette performance in the early 70s, and then the rest just all those great tracks interspersed with Alex Chilton demos, Alex Chilton solo versions of these songs. Really, really cool. Another one is No Thanks, the 1970s punk revolution, or the 1970s punk rebellion. It's just another great one like that Left of the Dial box that I mentioned a little while ago. Just all the great 70s classic punk tracks. Everything from The Jam to The Clash to The Ramones to Iggy Pop to X. They even have Devo on here. People that are kind of straddling like real punk, you know. It's really, really great stuff. This is another really well-curated box. Let's take a look at the booklet a little bit. Here's the booklet inside. No Thanks. Some pictures. Always great essays, where they were recorded, what studio, etc. Really, really great. And this one I bought used at Amoeba a while back, and it was like not that expensive, and it looks like it hadn't even been played. So really cool. Here's the back, some of the tracks. Really cool. So I highly suggest getting this. I think this is out of print, but I mean, you can't find a better 4 CD collection mix of 1970s punk. I mean, this is just stellar. Another one is, sometimes I like the artwork of certain things, and I had to get this. This is the Doors singles collection here. Really, really well done by Rhino here. You get a little poster inside. And then you get all the original artwork on the 45s and the original, so you get like the original Break On Through single, and then you get like, you know, the original label artwork per single. I mean, this is really, really cool. I'm a huge Doors fanatic, as you know, and includes every single Doors single ever released, even the ones with just the 3 of them after Morrison passed. So I think this is still available on Amazon or certain or Discogs or whatever. I think you could still get this for not a ton, but if you're a Doors fan, definitely worth getting. And then there's also the CD version of this too, with all the A's and B sides. So the Doors 20th anniversary, I guess that's what it's called. No, it's Doors 20 singles. All their singles released between 67 and even ones that were released, I think, around the time of the actual Doors movie that were reprised and released for that film. So good stuff. Another one is, of course, we got the Nuggets box set. We all know about the Nuggets box set. But I'll tell you something. You know what I like better than the Nuggets box set? Is that Rhino in the mid to late 80s put out these 3 killer Nuggets series things here. And they are called a Classic Collection from the Psychedelic 60s. Yeah. And these have actually even my like better songs on them, a better flow to them than the actual Nuggets box set. So you got on here, Volume 3, you've got everything Electric Prunes. You got kind of interesting stuff like I'm a Fool by Dino Desi. Back on the Street Again by the Sunshine Company. Only When You're Lonely by the Grassroots. Roses and Diamonds, or Roses and Rainbows by Danny Hutton. Really cool. Here's Volume 2. Got Mr. Farmer on here, Little Black Egg, Sunshine Parade by the Parade. These are really cool if you can find these. These are really, and they sound really good for like early CDs. Really good, good sound mastering going on here. So these 3, I actually listen to more than the actual Nuggets box set. These are fantastic. If you could find them, pick them up. They're awesome. Another one is the Otis Redding anthology. Basically every key Otis Redding track. This came out, I believe, in the mid-90s. Plus the full Monterey Pop Festival concert. One of the most spine-tingling performances. If you've ever seen the video, Otis Redding at the Monterey Pop. Just absolutely just tearing it up. Just incredible, incredible stuff. So everything on here, all the singles. Here's the back. Definitely well worth picking up. If you only need one Otis Redding compilation, this is it. 2 CDs just jam-packed of magic. And then, I was mentioning the Nuggets before too. There's a while back, after they released the Nuggets box, they did a compilation of just a single disc of the Nuggets box set, which I think is the best ever. This is probably the most single best Nuggets. Look at those titles. I mean, that is just a perfect compilation right there. It's just called Nuggets from Nuggets. Basically just the key cuts from the Nuggets box set. As far as single disc go, I love this replacements replacement single disc compilation called Don't You Know Who I Think I Was. This came out in the early 2000s as well. And the first time ever, all the replacements albums are represented. Everything from Sorry Ma Forgot to Take Out the Trash to their last album, All Shook Down. A lot of great tracks on here, plus 2 reunion tracks too by the 3 surviving members, including Chris Mars. He pulled out during the All Shook Down sessions. But there's the track listing. Really, really, really cool. And then what else do we have here, folks? One last one here. We have the Buffalo Springfield box set, which came out in the early 2000s. There it is. And this, of course, you have all 3 Buffalo Springfield albums. Again, last time around, the self-titled. But you also have all these kind of demos from Neil Young and Steve Stills interspersed with all these tracks, which are really, really cool. The one thing that really blows me away about this, though, is how they never... they had the chance, but they never released a 9-minute version of Bluebird on here, so it's kind of odd. But yeah, really well worth getting. Or finding if you're a Buffalo Springfield fan. Great sound. Good stuff. So if you have any more to add to the comment section, let me know. If you have other Rhino compilations or box sets that you really dig, let me know in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. If you dig the content on this channel and you've been watching it for a while, press subscribe. It's free. No big whoop. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.